So a few weeks ago, I was at GameStop, getting Christmas presents like you do when you're a gamer. And I had the weirdest experience ever, and it's still really sitting with me in big, weird ways. And we haven't been able to talk about it, yet on the channel, and so I'm doing it now. But anyway, I got made to feel like I was a boomer at GameStop on that day. Couple things. First, I do not in any way, shape, or form mean any disrespect to a boomer by saying that. None whatsoever. My parents are boomers and they're freaking awesome, okay? That's not what this is about. I am not a boomer. I'm a millennial. First. Second, GameStop is my jam, okay? We have the freaking account there. They can pull up our transaction history, and we spend an insane amount of doll hairs with them every single year because me and Mr. Soap and Clay, big gamers. Okay? Cool. Both those things out of the way. Walked into GameStop, and this associate comes up to me and is like, "Oh, well, let me know if you need any help finding anything." And I'm like, "Oh, that's fine. Cool, I got it, whatever." And then he comes up like 30 seconds later and he's like, "So, what are your children into? What kind of games do they usually like?" "Excuse me, sir. 19-year-old, sir. I've been playing video games since before you were born. How, why would you assume that I'm in here for my kids? Why am I not in here for me?" So I picked up the new Far Cry, which weirdly you needed to show an ID for to buy anyway, because apparently it's that gruesome. And, plopped it down on the counter. And he starts ringing me out, right? And he didn't ask for my phone number. Now, normally when you go to GameStop or anywhere, they ask for your phone number so it can be associated with your account. You get it. You exist in the worlds. And he didn't do so. And so I sort of prompt him, right? I'm like, "Hey, do you need me to put in my phone number so I can get my rewards?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that would be great." And I punch it in. And then he looks at the thing. Then he's very nice to me because he sees the transaction history and that, in fact, we are gamers. We are really big gamers. We spend a lot of money on video games. That's our only source of entertainment is video games. I'm not kidding. And so that was weird. That was it. And another thing about that entire thing, I was wearing a mask, right? And the masks that I wear out in public, because that's what we do in Washington State, we are still all masked up, are like huge. It only shows this of my face. Just got my hair in my eye. So I found the whole thing just very weird and not a lot of fun. And it's been weighing heavy on my mind. This is not a cue for you guys to go into the comments and say how gorgeous and young looking I am. I'm just really feeling weird that for the first time in my life, I apparently hit boomer status to a Zoomer. Yay me. That has nothing whatsoever to do with what we are making today at all by any stretch of the imagination. It's just on my mind. I will tell you what we are making in just a minute, but before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. and you are here for day 216 of 365 days of soap, and today we're making Cristina Yang's bar from Grey's Anatomy. Cristina Yang. The Cristina Yang. She's amazing! And I decided several weeks ago when we were figuring out what scents we were going to use for this theme or whatever, that Cristina Yang's bar was going to be unscented. And I also talked about in a couple days after that video what kind of design I maybe wanted to do for Cristina. And we saw like real lifelike heart molds on the Etsy thing. And I didn't want to do that, like cutting a heart into... I didn't. And so we are doing, you know, the love heart in her bar, in her unscented bar. So let's get to that pour, wherein I will talk about Cristina. I will probably maybe drop spoilers, but you know, as I've said before, if you haven't seen Grey's Anatomy by now, you're probably not going to. But you know, if there's something in your brain that says, hey, maybe I want to at some point, maybe click off here. That would be great because spoilers might happen. But let's get to the video and, you know, find out. Oh my God, I am not going to get through this one without crying because this is Cristina Yang's bar and Cristina Yang is everything. Okay? I know she's fictional. I understand that. First, Sandra Oh is not fictional and she's amazing. And second, just Cristina Yang is everything. She's a double doctor, guys. She's a double doctor. She got 2 doctors. She got her MD from Stanford, her PhD from Berkeley, and then went on to a residency position as a surgeon and entered into the same class as Meredith and George and Karev and Izzy, all studying under Dr. Weber and Miranda Bailey. And Cristina Yang is the only thing I maintain, the only thing that has held this cast of characters together, that did hold this cast of characters together for as long as this show went on. And I think she left at the end of like season 10. And everything following her departure, I've only watched maybe 3 times each season, maybe 3 times. But every season that she was in, I've watched at least 40. And I am not kidding. That is like my background happy noise, Grey's Anatomy. One of my children is named after a character in Grey's Anatomy, for crying out loud. And it's not Cristina, because I didn't do that. But Cristina Yang is so amazing. Like, her everything is just, she is no nonsense, which is why this bar is unscented, because she can't be bothered with that. She does not care. She does not care what the world thinks of her. She does not care what society and societal norms and expectations are of her. She is unapologetically Cristina. And she is brilliant and completely 100% focused on the task that she set out for herself of being an extraordinary surgeon, but also she can handle the whole task of being a human in the process, which is something Meredith could never do. And also, Meredith is Christina's person, fine, whatever, they're BFFs, and I don't get it, because Cristina is leaps and bounds better than Meredith. Not Sandra Oh and Ellen Pompeo, they're both awesome, but the characters they play, Cristina is better than Meredith. And that's all. Like, and you can't prove me wrong. You can try, you will not be successful. Cristina is better than Meredith. Let's go pour this guy, and I'm going to continue to try to not cry while talking about Cristina Yang, because she's everything. Okay, so a couple reasons why Cristina Yang is better than everybody else ever in the history of ever. You know, in Grey's Anatomy, of course. 1, okay, spoilers coming up. If not for her, nobody would have survived the plane crash. Granted, I will actually be talking in great detail about the plane crash in upcoming videos because needs must. So that's the only, you know, bit of a spoiler that I'm going to give you. But Cristina Yang, without a shoe, was the only one that ensured any of those doctors survived the plane crash. And then we got to see her heartbreaking post-traumatic stress breakdown afterward as a result of being the strong one that was just going to, get shit done and make sure that everyone or some people's survived. And the things that she had to do throughout that process, I could not do. I could not do. I would be Arizona Robbins in the corner, just screaming and wailing the whole time. Cristina Yang, cool under pressure. Another way that she is cool under pressure and therefore better than everyone else in Grey's Anatomy, if not for her, Derek Shepherd would not have survived the hospital shooting. Period. I don't know why Meredith is her person, okay? Because every time that something happens, Meredith loses her mind and she does stupid things. And granted, I get that because that would also be me doing the stupid things. But Cristina is in surgery with Derek Shepherd, who is currently the chief of surgery, and trying to save his life after a shooter took over the hospital. And she's there operating on her best friend's guy, which is already that would already completely wig you out, right? And then the shooter walks into the OR. And she's the only one that keeps a cool head throughout the entire thing. While Meredith is losing her mind, in the scrub room. Better than. She's amazing. Also, I love quite a bit that Cristina Yang was 100% unapologetic with knowing what she wanted in life and being okay with that. And one of the ways that came out was within her abortion stories or whatever. The storyline involving abortions. She was unapologetic about that. Granted, she delivered the right amount of, remorse and thought, and this is not, easy, because that's not easy. That is not an easy decision by any stretch of the imagination, and nobody makes that casually. But she knew that she did not want to have kids. And so she ultimately did the right thing for humanity by not doing that. And that was a very interesting thing to see on television at the time when it came out. And I dig her for that. I dig Shonda for that. I dig the writers for that. That was really beautiful. And Cristina is essentially, every time something horrible happens, she's one of the only people capable of keeping her cool and ensuring that people survive. And again, this is Seattle Grace, Mercy Death. Everybody all the time is in some sort of danger. And she's the only one that can actually keep her cool, one of the only ones. Owen is another one, who she ends up marrying later, is one of the only ones that can keep their cool with those ridiculous and high-stress odds. And that's cool. Wow, I just said a whole lot of cools. But Cristina Yang is cool and talented, like a very impressive surgeon and great at her craft and a no-nonsense person with the right amount of competitive drive that I really dig, like in life. I love that because I'm pretty competitive too, and so I get that. But you should never be competitive at the sake of humanity, right? You shouldn't do that. You should be a good person no matter what. And Cristina is that. She embodies everything that I sort of hold dear in life. But, she also has more education than me, which is weird. But also she's a fictional character. So there's that too. But Cristina Yang is the level head under pressure, the highly talented surgeon, the person who is capable of going through incredibly hard things. Do you remember when Burke left her at the altar? How sad that scene was as Meredith was trying to cut her out of her wedding dress. The dress she didn't even want to wear for the wedding she didn't even want to have. And she did so for this guy. And all of it. And she just continued on to become awesome and whatever. And then when she left, she had this conversation with Meredith while CRISTINA was sitting in the taxi cab, and she says something to the effect of, you know, I know he's dreamy, talking about Derek, to Meredith, but you're the son, not him. And I loved that. That was such a beautiful line, even though it was delivered to Meredith, and I don't think Meredith is the son. I think Meredith is just whatever. But CRISTINA Yang is a highly capable, very empathetic, but not the type that breaks down and just shrinks under pressure and under like weird circumstances. She's an ultimate badass. And so is Sandra Oh, an ultimate badass. So it serves dual purpose there. CRISTINA Yang, Sandra Oh, both incredible human beings, and one of the best things that ever happened to Grey's Anatomy, and that is a fact, and that is CRISTINA Yang's bar. And also, it's gorgeous, it's unscented. That is day 216. And there it is, Yang's bar. And yeah, totally beautiful, totally spot on. The white with the blue, the no nonsense, no scent. CRISTINA cannot be bothered with any sort of extra details in her, scent profile and the looking and all the things. She can't. Her brain is filled with all of the awesome things of being a double doctor. A double doctor. And I love her for that, for sure. I also love this bar. I think it's perfect, and it definitely captures CRISTINA. There were a number of things that we could have done for this, but if I got too far in the weeds, that would definitely be huge spoiler material, and we don't want to do that. So there you go. If you are interested in CRISTINA Yang's bar, you can't pick it up yet. The website's not back online. We're taking a break. We're rebuilding it. We'll let you know when it's back. But for now, everything's shut down, and even if it wasn't, I do not allow the buying of things until the entire series is done. So I'll let you know when that happens too. And then you can head over to soapandclay.com. But not right now, because there's nothing to see. If you're interested in seeing who else we do for the Grey's Anatomy theme and what the ultimate designs end up being, subscribe. That would be excellent. For those of you who have subscribed, hey, Sudsers, you are excellent. Thank you so much for joining me for another round of 365 Days of Soap. I'm out of here for today, but I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.